So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are staying safe. So guys, I've seen all this stuff, rubbish being pushed on the internet, and I'm just laughing. I'm just laughing because I think it's absolute nonsense. People are pushing the agenda that Floyd Mayweather lost to Logan Paul. I saw Jake Paul talk about it. Guys, come on. It was an exhibition. Listen, I understand what people are saying. Boxing fans are obviously not happy. There's two types of boxing fans. There's one set of boxing fans that are saying Floyd lost. There's other set of boxing fans that said that, you know, Floyd carried him. It was rehearsed. It was circus. Now, I kind of fit in between. And what I mean by that is I don't think it was rehearsed. I don't think Floyd lost. Firstly, about Floyd losing, man, it was an exhibition. It was an exhibition. It was basically, I don't know what people expected. It was an exhibition that was an event, basically. It was like a WWE. You know, it wasn't a competitive sporting event. We already knew that there'd be no winners. There was no judges. There was no judges. There was not going to be a winner unless the fight got stopped by knockout. And there was no knockout. What? I don't understand. I don't understand. Why are certain boxing fans just want to tear Floyd Mayweather down? I don't quite understand it. The guy did an exhibition. It was all money orientated. Floyd said after the fight that, you know, people talk about legacy and they talk about all of this and that. You can't eat legacy. I've said this many times. You can't eat legacy. If someone's offering you 100-something million to fight Logan Paul, you're not going to decline it. You're not going to decline it. I know all these professional boxers coming out and talking bad about Floyd. He fought like Hatton saying, well, oh, you know, I think I earned my shot against Floyd and it's kind of damaging the sport. And it's... Floyd Mayweather fought Ricky Hatton, didn't he? He fought Miguel Cotto. He fought Canelo Alvarez. He fought Pacquiao. Fought everyone. So now he's retired. He's doing these events. That's it. I get it. Floyd Mayweather's a big name and he's a big star. And when he does these things, it's going to get a lot of attention. I get that. And yes, he's going to open himself up to criticism as well because there's a lot of people that dislike Floyd. But don't push an agenda that he lost the fight against a YouTuber. He never lost the fight. It was an exhibition. There wasn't supposed to be a winner unless the fight got knocked out. And there wasn't a knockout, so there was no winner, there was no loser. I'm not even going to go into whether I think Floyd won or Logan won because that's beside the point of this video. There wasn't supposed to be a winner. Now, what I will say is, I will say this, that I was shocked that Floyd Mayweather didn't stop him. And you know what the bad thing is? The fact that I think Floyd Mayweather was trying to stop him, but he just couldn't. When you're 44 years of age, right? And to be honest, Logan Paul isn't a boxer, but Logan Paul has been training with professionals and he looks like he's improved a little. He's looked like he's learned how to survive. Right? He was doing a great job surviving in there. Floyd said that in his post-fight, you know, if he wants to come and hug and grab and, you know, use his size. You know, Floyd, you could clearly see was trying to press the action and was trying to get him out of there. But Logan did a good job, which you've got to give him credit for. He did a good job to survive in there and manage his way to 8 rounds. Right? And I've got to give Logan Paul a huge amount of credit for that. Because you know, to go in there against one of the greatest fighters, even though he was past his 44, it doesn't matter. The fact is, Floyd Mayweather's still far better than Logan Paul. And Logan Paul managed to make the distance. And I don't buy this rubbish about people saying it was rehearsed. No, it wasn't. For me, I don't think it, no, I don't. I think it was a fight, and I think Floyd Mayweather was trying to get him out of there. He just couldn't. He just couldn't. I didn't buy that stuff about Conor McGregor. Floyd Mayweather's carried him. Floyd Mayweather isn't a big puncher. Now, you do expect a boxer to get a non-boxer out of there, even if he's a non-puncher, because just because he's not a puncher for a boxer, he should be a puncher for Logan Paul and those guys. And listen, Floyd Mayweather showed that he was the puncher in there because he was walking Logan down. Logan didn't really have the technique or to put a punch together with any kind of power. He wasn't going to be able to hurt Floyd, and that's why Floyd started walking him down. Floyd, even though he's fighting a YouTuber, even though he fought Conor McGregor, who was a cage fighter, initially, if you look at the first couple of rounds, he never walks a guy down because he always tests, and he did that even when he was a proper boxer, right? Floyd Mayweather never used to walk anybody down unless he had, you know, got to see how powerful you were, how hard your punches were. The only time he'd start walking you down when he realized that this guy can't hurt me, this guy can't knock me out, right? And that's when Floyd starts walking you down. And that's what he did with Logan Paul. He realized this guy can't hurt me. He hasn't got punching power. So Floyd started walking him down. Floyd started walking Logan Paul down. But in terms of he lost the fight, come on, man. It's an exhibition. It's not supposed to be a competitive... When it's an exhibition, it's not supposed to be a competitive... Like, it's not a competitive event as soon as they say exhibition. It's not going to count on Floyd's record. Floyd said that he's been training a couple of times a week. I think Floyd tried to play it down because I think he was probably upset that he didn't force the stoppage. Because at the end of the day, he knows... Although Floyd won't care because he's made a shed load of money from it, he wouldn't care. But I definitely think that Floyd Mayweather knows that he wanted to stop this guy so then, you know, he doesn't get criticism. But this is the kind of stuff by Floyd doing this stuff. He opened himself up to this criticism because people will say, oh my God, he couldn't even stop a YouTuber. And that YouTuber was massive, by the way. That was a heavyweight, really. He was like a heavyweight compared to Floyd. It was like you know, when David Haye fought Valuev, just looked like a giant against you know, a small guy. You know, because remember, Floyd he isn't an active boxer anymore. He missed, like, even when he fought Conor McGregor, he was missing a lot of punches. You know, Floyd Mayweather never used to miss any punches. He used to be razor sharp. His hand speed, especially his single punches, used to be unbelievable. But I saw recently in the last couple of fights he's had, he missed a lot of punches. He's been a bit wild. Probably because of the fact that Floyd's always been a counterpuncher. He's never really been a guy that walks guys down. He did it on occasions. I believe he did it against Zab Judah. You know, Mosley, I think he did it in the Mosley fight as well. But he's not really a guy that walks you down. He's not really a pressure fighter that walks you down. He doesn't really take the action to you. He likes people to come to him. And then he can counterpunch. He's 44 years of age. This was all a money-orientated event. It was there to just generate money, and that's what it did. It wasn't a proper fight, man. I don't know why people are pushing this like it was a proper fight. It wasn't. But this is what I'm saying. This is why when Floyd Mayweather does things like this, he does open himself up for this type of stuff by some of the casual fans, some of the fans that, you know, hate him. See, I don't hate Floyd Mayweather. I think Floyd Mayweather is one of the greatest fighters of all time. But the fact is that when you're fighting someone like Logan Paul, right, and if you don't stop him, then people are gonna criticize you. The guys that, you know, said you've been cherry picking and all this, you know, your resume is this, that, and the other. They're gonna come out and criticize you because they're gonna say you couldn't even stop a YouTuber, even though, you know, the guy YouTuber was massive. And I actually, listen, I was actually wrong because I said size wasn't playing much of a part. It did in terms of Floyd being able to get him out of there. Because that guy was clinching, he was big, he was strong, he was able to get hold of Floyd and just like grab hold of him. That's what I mean. Logan Paul did a great job to survive. People felt upset because people felt like, you know, people that paid for it. And I paid for it. I paid for it because I knew it was an event. I knew it was an event. You know, I never paid for it. Oh, I'm going to watch a competitive world-class boxing fight. But as an event. And it's including, it's an event with Floyd Mayweather. So it doesn't really matter about, you know, whether, you know, it's an exhibition, this, that, and the other. But, you know, in America, people had to pay $50 for it. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people did. A lot of people did pay $50 for that. So this was what it was. It was an exhibition. You know, it's basically a side income for Floyd Mayweather, you know, and Logan Paul made money, good money as well. So, you know, it was an exhibition. We're watching him because he's one of the greatest fighters of all time, and we're watching him involved in an event. It's basically like Muhammad Ali, you know, when he was in his prime, if he was to fight whoever, people would watch because of the star appeal, the global appeal that Muhammad Ali had. It wasn't so much, even if it was like a circus act, you know, like he had with that wrestler. People just watch it just because it's Muhammad Ali, you know, and they want to see what happens. It's just an intrigue. It's not so much a competitive fight. This wasn't a competitive fight. It was an exhibition. You need to look at what exhibition means. Exhibition isn't a competitive fight. It's not him against Canelo. It's not him against, you know, Pacquiao. This is Floyd Mayweather against Logan Paul in an exhibition. There wasn't no judges. There wasn't supposed to be a winner if it goes the distance. There wasn't supposed to, you know, the only way that there would have been a clear winner if Floyd or there was a knockout. And there wasn't a knockout. So I think we need to relax a little. Stop giving Floyd Mayweather, you know, so just the fans that dislike Floyd Mayweather is going to say what they're going to say. But in terms of it was an exhibition. Nothing, no damage to boxing as far as I'm concerned. It's an exhibition. Floyd Mayweather was very undersized. The size played a big part in terms of Logan Paul being able to survive. He was able, listen, credit to Logan Paul. He took shots. You know, all this stuff about, oh, when a boxer lands a punch on a normal guy, you know, he won't be able to take it. Well, Logan took him. But then having said that, Logan has been practicing. Logan has been training. Logan has been training with professionals. He's been taking this very seriously. The Pauls are taking this very seriously. They're eating right. They're training hard. You know, you're gonna get better at something. Remember, a lot of low-level boxers, right? They don't have the money to train. They've got other day jobs. So, you know, guys that are lower level journeymen, they don't have the facilities that the Pauls have because Pauls are rich. They're multimillionaires in their own right. So they can do this full time. They can dedicate themselves to this. Some low level boxers don't have the money to do that. They have got day jobs. So they can't focus their whole time on boxing. That's why some of them don't make it. Some of them don't go down the wayside because they're not able to do that. These guys, money's not an issue. Money's not a problem. Because they're already stars. They don't need boxing. They're already stars. They're already multimillionaires. So they're dedicating. So in that way, you got to give them credit that they're dedicating themselves. They can dedicate themselves to this sport and get better. Now, I'm not saying they're going to go on to become a world championship level fighters, but they can definitely get better and definitely compete at some sort of level. Because like I said, they've got the money. They're not like some low-level boxers that don't have. Some low-level boxers may have to get a day job. These guys don't. These guys can dedicate themselves to boxing. And that's the difference. So like I said, you've got to give the Pauls credit for that because, you know, for me, Logan Paul did well. I think he did okay. You know, he did well to survive. And, you know, that's against one of the greatest fighters of all time. And you've got such limited experience. I thought he did well. But, you know, in terms of all this, oh, Floyd lost and that. Nah, come on. That's just nonsense. But again, I can see why people want to push that narrative. No way. You know, that was an exhibition fight. There wasn't a winner. There wasn't a loser if it went the distance. The only way there would be a winner and a loser if you know, someone got stopped. And that never happened. So leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.